Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 coming at you with something kind of different. Mostly my channel is about guns, sometimes it's about knives, but this is kind of in-between item. This is an AK bayonet, an old one at that. So I was browsing around Gunbroker. I have some sellers that I tend to go through and look at, and there's one seller that I have bought several handguns from, including my high power pistol and my new Glock 22. Well, I should say my used Glock 22. Everything I've got from them are used handguns, but I noticed that they had a bunch of AK bayonets for sale for, get this, $15.99. Yeah, $16 plus shipping. I forget how much shipping was, but $16 for a bayonet. Now, of course, they are old, beat-up bayonets. They have, the what do you call these? Bakelite, a bakelite handle. I don't know the technical term for this. I'm just going to call it the handle or the grip. And it's, really beat up. It looks worse than it is. And of course the camera's probably not focusing all that well. But it is scuffed up quite a bit. The button is kind of, kind of funky. And it came in this little metal, I forget what they call this, but I'm just going to call it the sheath. It is metal. It was really rusty when I got it. I took some steel wool to it and got most of the rust off. It's still a little bit rusty, and it's a little hard to get out, and I guess the inside is a little rusty too. If you see here, it rubs off on the blade. But it is a nice, I guess it's a stainless steel blade. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert on bayonets by any means. But it is a pretty nice blade. And if you didn't know, the M9 bayonet, which the US military uses for the M16 and the M4, all those guns, and the 590 shotgun, it's based off of this bayonet here, or I guess this is probably one of many bayonets that the Russians and all those other comm bloc countries have used over the years. But it's the M9 bayonet is based off of the Russian AK bayonet, and I'm not really sure. Like, I'm sure each bayonet has its own name, but this is just an AK bayonet to me. And it's kind of interesting. I didn't really buy it to be a bayonet. I bought it to just be a knife. I have an AK, but it doesn't have a bayonet lug on it. It's an AMD 63, and those don't traditionally have they don't traditionally have bayonet lugs on them. So I really just bought this to be a knife. It does need to be sharpened quite a bit. Now, this is not the worst example that I've seen on the picture that they were, the listing had, but some of the other ones were pretty bad, and this one's probably about medium for what they had. I'm not sure how many they had, but the blade does need to be sharpened. I'm sure it could still cut you and injure you, but yeah, it does need to be sharpened in order to be useful as like a survival knife or something. It does have these little ridges here, which I guess they use for like sawing wood, maybe. Or sawing branches. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm probably not going to use this. And this little hole here, for those of you who don't know, this is made to be a wire cutter with the little sheath. Has this little notch here, and you can put a piece of wire in here and just cut it. So that's kind of an interesting feature. That's another feature of the M9 bayonet, and I think they took that from this design. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, that is my $16 bayonet, which will not be used as a bayonet. It might be if I if I ever get another AK with a bayonet lug. But my plan is to just make it a knife, and for being just a $16 bayonet where it's all beat up like this, you're not going to be afraid to get it messed up. If you take it out in the woods and use it as a survival knife or a camp knife or whatever, hunting knife maybe. So you're not going to be afraid to mess it up. You're not going to be afraid to mess up a nice piece of history, or a nice, just a nice expensive knife or bayonet. This is $16, and it's already beat up for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, that is my AK bayonet. I might do some more videos in the future with it after I sharpen it and try it out. See what it can do, what it can't do. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good buy for $16. Anyway, subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.